Hi and welcome to SITEFORUM. We are very excited to present you a new feature in Release 7 that lets you create comprehensive surveys. In order to work with this feature, you need to be assigned to the role Polling Manager or Portal Master. Surveys are located under Marketing and CRM in your Portal Manager. When you click on Surveys, you will be redirected to the Overview. On the left-hand side, you have Overview, Add and Settings. The settings are marking the global settings of your surveys overall. The external option, if this is set to active, it will display additional fields which are external ID and external information, which are useful if you export your results and want to use another tool for evaluation. If the date field is set to active, then it will by default display the dates when you add or edit a survey. So let's head back to the overview. Here all your existing surveys are displayed, and you can edit them or delete them with the action button. If you want to add a new survey, you have to do this in several steps. First, you create your survey with its basic settings. You can enter a title, you can select your language and the user groups, you can enter your description. Under dates, you have the reference date. The surveys are displayed by reference date in the overview. The start date marks the date from which your survey will be available, and the end date marks the date until it will be available. The report date marks the date until which you can display the report of your survey. Here are the pages templates. The front page is displayed before the user starting the survey, and the final page is displayed after the user has finished your survey. You can edit the templates with the editor. When you're done, you just hit save and you're redirected to the overview. I'll just show you this with a survey that I have already created. So now that you have created your survey, it's time to add your pages to the survey. In order to do this, you can just hit Pages here in the overview, or you can go through the action button and choose Pages there. Here you enter the title of your page and the description. Once again, you can simply customize the design with the editor here in the template. You can have several questions on each page. When you're done creating your page, you simply hit save and you will be redirected to the questions. In order to add questions, click here and you can enter the name of your question, the description, and you can choose control type. You have several control types in surveys, which are text, text area, number, range, choice, radio button, checkbox, slider, option slider, and ranking. Some of these control types, like the radio button or the checkbox, for example, need options in order to work correctly. The ranking control type, on the other hand, needs rows, which we'll get to later on. You can choose whether or not you want this question to be a mandatory field, and once again you can fully customize the template. Once you have entered all your information and chosen your settings, you press save, and you are then redirected to the Options tab, where you can enter different choices for replies and assign values to them. Furthermore, you can assign a visual ID, which will give you the possibilities to use branching and display a visual reference page with further information or questions on the subject. If you have chosen ranking as your control type, you can add several rows to that in order to rank the different reply options. Once you have added all your labels, you can hit save, and you can then see a little preview of how this control type works. Let's go back to visual IDs and visual reference pages for a moment here. With visual IDs, you can slot in pages that are displayed only in the choice of certain options. You can assign visual IDs to your reply options and then create a new page with one or more questions and assign the responding visual reference to this page from the drop-down menu. If you check the option Hide, the page will not be displayed if the user picks the reply option that has the corresponding ID assigned. Instead, it will be displayed if the user picks any of the other options. If you do not activate the Hide option, the visual reference page will be displayed only if the user picks the option that has the corresponding ID assigned to it. Using visual IDs and visual reference pages, you can customize your surveys with respect to different answers. So now that we have created a survey, added pages, questions, assigned the visual ID and assigned the visual reference page, I will just show you how the survey looks. This is the starting page of the survey. Pressing next, you get to the first page with the first questions. On top here you have a progress bar which lets the user know how far he is in the survey. I've assigned a visual ID to the reply option T here, and I have set the corresponding visual reference page to be displayed if the user picks the answer T. The user is then directed to the visual reference page where he can reply to further questions on the subject. I will just head one step back now and show you if I had picked any other option, for example black coffee, which has no visual ID assigned to it, and press next. It will just skip the visual reference page and set you directly to the final page of the survey, since I have only added one question. So this concludes the short information on our new and exciting feature, surveys. You can find more detailed information on surveys on SITEFORUM.com in the support center under general documentation.